like and sober up, but like I gotta be entertaining for these.
I've only gone as far west as Iowa.
You hate to see it. You hate to see it. Net. Adam.
Hey, don't we have a sponsor?
What? Yeah, we have not used that one.
Yeah, hey, don't we have 2 weeks in on the third week of the month? Hey, Adam, don't we have a sponsor?
W Energy. W.GG. YOUH82CIT. 10% off.
Have you guys have your orders coming yet? Have you guys tried the stuff yet?
No, I didn't ever buy it.
Oh,
Well, it was out of the fucking flavor that it was promoting. So
Well,
it's like,
They restocked it.
oh, okay. Weird flex,
so
alright.
this week we are talking about several things.
Why?
I don't know. Well, primarily we're talking about my bumper. Adam, you just saw it for the first time. Would you care
Wasn't
to
even
describe it?
It wasn't even your bumper. It was
Yeah.
the thing at the top, like in the middle of your fucking car.
Also true.
So I drive a C-Max, and the fun part about the C-Max is that in order to open the hatchback, you have to push a button on the handle, like above the license plate, push in, pull out. I didn't know that when I first bought the car. So I pushed the button, heard it click, and pulled and ripped part of it off. And I've been dealing with that ever since. Last Monday, on the day of my grandmother's wake, I tried to open my hatch, pulled, and it just went boom, and the entire like the handle came out. So it's now just dangling by the button that fucking you have to hit to open it, because that hatch is held in by like
Sadness.
sadness and plastic. So I now have to take it to the Ford dealership to have them do it because I have no idea how you even begin to fix that. But last night at about midnight, I'm leaving Alex's house after a night of drinking. I'm sober because I'm driving, of course.
But drinking.
I sobered up. And I think, I don't want to get pulled over for not having my license because I tried taking it off so it wouldn't just dangle. So I unplugged the license plate lights that light up to your license plate. And I thought, okay, I'll take those off, but it wouldn't come out because I couldn't undo the button that like was hanging on by still. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna plug those back in so they work. And I basically what I do is I use my phone's flashlight. And because I can't hold it like this, what I do is I put it on my rear windshield wiper. Jeff just inhaled deeply and aggressively.
I hate it here.
And I put it there. And I use the light. And it works. I plug them back in. I get in my car.
I don't like where this is going at all.
The Bluetooth connects to my car. So obviously my phone's
It's
in
just porn.
It's in the car, so like because it's connected, like music's playing. I'm able to skip songs. We drive. We get back to Shannon's. It's like we cross railroad tracks. We take several turns. I'm going like 45.
This fucking guy.
And we get into Shannon's house. I undress like she goes to take a bath. I put on shorts and I start looking for my phone. I'm like, where's my phone? So I pull out my Bluetooth earbuds. I listen for it to connect and it doesn't connect. I'm like, all right, it's not in the house. It's in my car. Go out, look for it in my car. Can't find it in my car. So I go back into the house. Shannon's about to get in the bath. I'm like, hey, can you call my phone until like I pick up because I can't find my phone. And I go back outside and I hear my phone buzzing from outside the car. And I open my front door and I'm like, all right, it's on the front seat. Because I did go into the back seat to get a bag out of the car. So I open up the back seat and I put my head in and I'm like, I don't see this. And then I hear it coming from my trunk and I'm like, huh, did it how did it get back there? And my head is in the car, and I look left, and I just see the flashlight still on my phone, sitting on my windshield wiper.
How are you the luckiest fucking person?
Hold on. Remember when he says phone on top of a car and lost it in Kentucky?
Yeah, but like...
I tell Shannon this, and she looks at me and go, "You literally have a horseshoe shoved so far in your asshole."
Well, yeah, you are a horse.
So we drove. I mean, yeah, I think you've driven from Shannon's to Alex's, right? Like, you know how far it is.
Yeah.
It's not like a 10-minute drive. It's like maybe 20, 25 minutes. Mm-hmm. Entire time just sitting on the windshield wiper.
Fucking wild.
I mean, that had to have been like the way the air was coming over your car, it kept it pressed up against. But...
Yep. The light was up because I remember looking back, like looking out the rearview mirror, and I.
Hi.
Hi.
Why did you just stop talking?
Because I was
polite.
startled.
Oh, okay.
Well, I thought it was polite.
We're literally talking about it right now.
Perfect.
That is the handle that opens up my car. It's just hanging there because.
And there was a lady walking her dog this way, and she was like looking at your car, and I was like, what is she looking at? And I pulled in, she put her glasses down, was looking at your car, and then I looked in my rearview mirror, and I was like, what is that?
That is the button that I used to open my car that ripped off the car. Yep, and
You'll have to listen to week 3 of this month.
we're just discussing about how I drove back from Adam's house to Shannon's house with my phone on
Alex's house.
whatever. I drove about 25 minutes with my phone on my windshield wiper,
His
just
back
sitting,
windshield wiper.
and it didn't fall off.
This man is the luckiest man alive.
I did that in the back of the car once. Like the ledge where the trunk.
I did that too, but I lost my phone in Kentucky.
No, I was still there when I got home. Okay, bye.
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 Do we have to give her credits?
No.
Do we have to credit her at the end of the episode? So yeah.
I'll cut it out. You didn't come up to a microphone. They can't hear you anyway.
So yeah, that was my night. So yeah. Also, in other stories of Nick is lucky as fuck,
His grandma died. I'm so sorry. That one's on me, man. Oh, we're supposed to drink awkwardly for that? My bad.
Yeah, I am. In other things that Nick is lucky as fuck, I replaced several parts in my carry firearm. As Jeff got to sit there one night in Discord while I was up until 12 in the morning with a hammer and a screwdriver.
Like a hammer?
Yeah.
Yep.
Just boom, bang, 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 bang.
You got your 3D printed shit?
No. I mean, yes. But so I replaced the trigger in my Taurus, and that meant hammering out pins and shit to get the old trigger out. Also, I lost ball bearings, so I had to order ball bearings because I lost them for the safety. But I ended up finally fixing it at midnight. And I also replaced the firing pin guide rod and the recoil spring guide rod. So I go to the range, and
Same.
I basically pull out my gun, I load one bullet in the magazine, rack the slide, and I am to describe it for our audio listeners, I'm basically shielding my body while putting my arm as far away from me as possible to fire one shot. Because I'm not entirely certain this gun won't explode. And then I kind of slowly, gradually increase the number of rounds I fired. Because again, I am not entirely certain this gun is not about to explode in my hand.
You gonna pull an Alec Baldwin on someone?
I hope not. It has a manual say it's my summer carry gun, so
My summer. You have a winter and a summer.
yeah, my winter's a
Yeah,
full size SIG.
Yeah, seasonal, my guy.
Yeah. My Taurus is about
I switch up calibers too, just for the fun.
I do not. It's you switch from fucking FN 57 to 12 gauge for winter.
Yeah, for my concealed carry of my pump action shotgun. Yes. I have throughout winter. I have a limp.
Ah, it's because you can't bend the knee because the shotgun's just...
Yeah. Hey, hand me my vape.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I swear to fucking God, I know what it's about.
What?
Just hand it to me.
Okay.
Just hand it to me. Just hand it to me. Man, Shannon's gonna love hearing about this.
So, yeah, no, I have a seasonal, like, I seasonal carry because, like, my Taurus is, like,
I don't know why when you first started saying that, I like half forgotten the conversation. Thought you were saying that you were seasoning your carry.
I could salt and pepper. Because,
As
like,
you should, as a white man.
yeah, my Taurus is probably, like, a third smaller than my SIG. So it's just easier to carry, like, in shorts and shit. But my SIG will, like I can wear an outer jacket and shit.
This was funny episode.
I mean, I was stupid. We can talk about other stuff.
Sure.
Like what?
I don't know. Have you guys
What's
been
fun?
stupid lately?
No,
We're not
I've
on
been
life
working.
updates. Yeah, we're not on life.
No, we're
updates
on
anymore.
people being stupid. And by people, I mean me.
I do have some people being stupid story, and it's called Best Buy and Capital One.
Oh, I do have a. I don't know. I feel like we're off of me now, so we're gonna go to you.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
So was
I didn't
ordering.
realize we took turns on the podcast.
So was ordering something off of Best Buy, and in the process of like logging into my Best Buy account and stuff, I found out that even though it's my phone number and my email address and everything, for some reason my Best Buy account is under my mom's name. So I'm like, when I was younger, I must have done it all under her name and then have been like transitioned it all to my information and never changed names. So I go and I'm on the Best Buy website and I'm trying to change just the name on my account to my own name, and it wouldn't let me. And I was like, oh, that's weird. So I went to make the purchase, and it was, it went through, and then all of a sudden, like 12 hours later, they canceled it, and they didn't give me a reason why they canceled my purchase. So I called Best Buy and was like, hey, like trying to get the information. That was fine. And then before we hung up, she was like, is there anything else I can help you with? And I was like, oh yeah, my account is under my mom's name, and I don't know why that is. So like, how do I get that switched over to my name? And she's like, oh, well, we need your mom to call us to give permission to change the name on the account. I was like, really? It's my cell phone number and my email address and my credit card information. Why do I need my mom to call you to change just the name under the account? Well, like, that's just how it has to be done. And I was like, and what if my mom's dead? And she was like, oh, well, you're going to have to make a new account.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, so you're completely fucking useless? And she was like, and I just hung up.
You're a good man. I
And,
respect that.
Good soup.
What
and
the fuck does soup have to do with this?
but I found out the reason why they had canceled my order. So I go and I make another purchase of the stuff, and to just to make it, and it got declined. I was like, oh, and I got the text from my credit card saying, hey, like, we have suspected frauds. Like,
Is it because you tried purchasing the same thing and it was the same price?
yeah. So they're like, we suspect fraud. Can you confirm through this text that it's you? Clicked yes, like that. I made it.
Well,
And then it said, great, you can try making the purchase again. Okay.
same thing.
canceled, like it declined, but I didn't get a text message or anything. So I call my credit card, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, it says here it was blocked for fraud." And I was like, "Okay, can we not block it for fraud? Because that's me making this purchase." They're like, yeah, no problem. I went through it. It's a 10-minute ordeal to get it unblocked. They're like, "Okay, do you want me to stay on the phone with you while you make the purchase?" And I was like, "No," because I was like in the middle of work. So I was like, "I can't do the purchase like right now. I need to be working, but I'll try again in about 30, 40 minutes." And they're like, "All right." So I go back, I make the purchase, declined.
You know he was laughing when he clicked decline on that one. He's like,
I called them again, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it was just blocked for fraud." Okay, can you not tell that this is literally the second time that I've had to deal with this of like saying that this isn't fraud, and this is now the second time of me calling you guys to unblock it for fraud. Yeah, I see that. Okay, so can you not block it for fraud again? Well, so I went through the whole thing, and I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna you're staying on the line with me, and I'm making the purchase again." Great. I make the purchase, it goes through. Awesome, thank you so much. Hang up. I get an email an hour later. It was declined in processing for fraud.
this is why Timothy McVeigh bombed the fucking Oklahoma City bombing.
So I
That is not an official podcast stance. That is not an official podcast stance.
So I call Capital One again. They're like, "Yeah, it was blocked for fraud."
Did you tell this person that they were useless too? Please tell me.
Oh, we'll get there.
Please tell
We'll
me you
get
told
there.
someone that they were useless.
So
again.
I go, and I'm like, "Hey, like, this fucking isn't fraud. This is the third time I've tried making, or the fourth time I've tried making this purchase, and you keep blocking."
Please tell me you
this-
were buying like an HDMI cord.
No, I was buying a mouse because I'm getting a Surface Pro from my other job.
Let me know how that is. I really kind of want one of those.
So I was buying I was buying a mouse because I don't like touchpad. I like mouse.
No one likes touchpad.
Yeah. And
Don't you fucking say it. Don't you? You're looking at me. Don't you fucking tell me that you like touchpad.
Like what? Like this, or like using the screen?
no,
No,
this.
the touchpad part,
Touchpad.
dumbass.
Okay.
Anyway,
I actually play COD on the touchpad.
That adds up a lot
Yeah.
for your skill level. Piece of shit.
so we go
I
through.
actually use the little red thimble on ThinkPads.
So we go through. I'm like, when I pick up when they answer, I inform them that I'm already pissed off. So I apologize for anything that may get said or done on this phone call if this doesn't going to go. This isn't.
And
gonna
while
be
you
happy.
did that, that person racked the slide of their gun.
No, so they go and they unblock it, they unfraud it, and I go, will this happen again? Can I make this? Will that happen again? Like, I promise you it won't happen again. Great. Hang up.
It happens again.
2 hours later, I make the purchase again. It happens again. I call them
Have you
again.
ever thought you're the problem?
I call
Maybe
them.
adding another item to the purchase, like a fucking Coke or something. Yeah, man.
I call
Arguably
Capital
just
One.
as good as McDonald's, if not better.
I call Capital One. I tell the guy, I was like, "I'm not in for any bullshit. We're like, get this fucking sorted now." I was like already hostile to this guy, and I was like, "I'm truly sorry, but if you can see my call logs, this is like the 6th time I've called today." And he's like, "Yeah, I kind of see that." And I was like, "Great, this fucking purchase isn't fucking fraud. Can we not make this fraud?" And so we go through, and he's like, "Oh, so you've deactivated fraud so many times over the phone that now we think that this phone call might be fraud, so we have to have you submit an image of your photo ID online. So they text me a link, and I go through, and I'm trying to submit my ID.
Fraud. That's an Illinois ID. That's not valid.
No.
Fucking
No.
Walmart, dude.
Hold on. Their
Yes,
uploading process crashes on the website. It won't let me upload any ID.
Multi-billion-dollar corporation, by the way.
So
A couple of them.
I'm on the phone with Capital One, and I'm like, "What the actual fuck?" And I told him, like, "This is my emergency credit card. So why the fuck can't I use my credit card for like, if you guys why are you blocking fraud every time? What if this was an actual emergency and like this is like some kind of dire situation? This is my emergency fucking credit card." And the guy was like, okay, well, the only way we can get through this now, because our website won't accept any IDs, is it's going to take upwards of 7 days to do it over email. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I lit this motherfucker up on the phone.
Hey, why don't you drive out here and look at my ID for me and then click it on my computer? How about that?
And I screamed. I spent 20 minutes screaming at this poor fucking bastard, and I hung up on him. And
I hope
as
he
he's
listens.
trying,
We apologize for our co-host.
I don't apologize. Go fuck yourself, and Capital One.
But we apologize.
So
Discover again.
As we have the 2/3 majority here, Nick, if you say that you apologize, we have apologized.
Discover gang, get fucked.
True.
I also have Discover, but so I went and I was
have Capital One.
I do not. I only have one credit card and it's Discover. And I love it.
I made the purchase on
Capital One's really Gucci for all of us gun guys out here. They're pretty great.
I made the purchase on a different card, but hung up on this guy, and then I was like,
Got
I'm not.
charged with fraud.
No. I mean, it sent me the text of like, we think this might be fraud. Is this cool? And I did it, and just by sending the text, they're like, okay, we've accepted the purchase now. Like I was like, great. But it's through my old PNC Bank credit card,
Yeah.
so like, I don't have that bank anymore. I'm trying to pay that off to not have that credit card
Yeah.
anymore. So I was like, didn't want to use it, but used it, and so I was like, I'm not going to call Capital One back.
Capital One sends them a text. We see that your PNC card was used. Is this
Yeah.
fraud?
So I was like, I'm not going to call them for a while.
We bought them literally 30 minutes ago, and this is fraud.
I waited a week before calling them back, so I could come in clear-headed and not at work. So I called them on a weekend.
they could all go through their therapy of like being told to off themselves and stuff.
And so I call Capital One again, and they're like, no, there's no fraud in your account. What the fuck are you talking about? There's no fraud on my... This is a week later. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? There's no fraud on my account. You had blocked my card, and we never resolved the issue. It says there's no fraud. And I nicely was losing my
Let
mind.
this person.
No, I didn't light them up. I was just like very confused and sort of pissy, but like was like, can you explain? Like, I need more explanation. This is the situation I've been in. I need you to explain fucking to me. And
I don't know why fucking needs to be explained, but whatever.
The
I'm trying to make this podcast somewhat funny still because that's kind of our thing.
and then by the end of it, I went to them and I was like, hey, how about can we make it that you stop blocking my emergency credit card for fraud? I get a notification every time a purchase is made. How about I tell you when there's fraud and you don't tell me when there's fraud? And he's like, are you sure it's for your security? And I'm like, shut up, you fucking nerd. I didn't say that, but I felt that.
No, I feel like you did.
And I was like,
from previous parts of the story, I feel like you did tell me.
and I was like,
If not something worse.
and I was like, no, I want you to stop blocking my card for fraud. This is an emergency credit card. So he was like, all right, let me place you on hold. And I was on hold for 20 minutes. And then he finally came back on. He's like, all right, I've removed the fraud blocking thing from your card. And I was like, great. Anything else?
Hope
He's
you
like,
have a
"No."
shitty fucking day, you piece of shit.
And then I hung up on the guy because I was like, that's all I needed. So who knows? We'll see next time I try and make a large purchase from Best Buy. If they block it or not for fraud. And
How
then
much was this mouse?
$300?
Jesus Christ!
Because it's the mouse that like
Works with the Surface
works
Pro,
with
yeah.
a Surface Pro. It's the Surface Pro, like it's the Microsoft mouse that's specific for a
Shit.
Surface.
Oh man, Logitech gang.
I like HyperX.
I mean, same.
Logitech's the only, or my mouse is the only Logitech product I have. Everything else is Corsair.
I hate
I need
Razer
a new
products.
keyboard. My keyboard's the slash sticks, so sometimes there's 6 slashes that pop up after hitting it once, and it drives me insane. So I need a new keyboard.
I hate Razer products because you have to install Razer Synapse for everything.
Yeah, I can see that. I get that. I mean, I
have
had a Razer
Razer.
mouse for a while. And
I have a Razer
Remember
camera
when-
and I have
remember
a...
when we played League all the time and my Razer mouse would just disconnect because of
That was
Synapse?
wild. That was
And
because I like
the
hear
reason-
Jeff throwing
reason-
his mouse on the floor.
the reason I switched mice was because we were in the middle of a ranked league game, just drunk, just being an idiot. Actually, it probably wasn't even ranked. It was probably just a normal league game, and because yet again, Razer has to be connected to Synapse. If Synapse crashes, congrats, your shit no longer works.
Is that what was happening? Synapse was crashing?
Yeah. So like, I thought it was my mouse until like I realized that there's like you go into like the reports and it's like, oh, like Razer Synapse crashed, and it's like, oh, so I'd be like in the middle of a fucking team fight and my character would just stop moving, and then Paul would be like, hey, why aren't you doing your job as the tank and moving towards people or anything, and you like audibly like could hear me
Slamming
bashing my
his
mouse.
mouse.
And finally a button popped off and I was like, fuck this, and I just got the Logitech version, which doesn't involve you to install
Razer
anything.
Synapse is garbage. Fucking.
I
Remember
have
when your League
internal
account
Razer
got
stuff.
hacked in the middle of the night?
Yeah, and I didn't realize
So-
until the morning because you guys texted
So
me.
it was one of those nights where it was me, Jeff, and Don playing League until
This is
like.
when I worked as a private investigator,
Yeah.
so like I would be on at random times and like
And this was like it was like a Friday,
so
so like we were up until like Don and I were up until like 4 a.m. But Jeff got off at 2, and like Don and I are just doing ARAMs until we win, and we see Jeff get on him and like Jeff jump into a ranked game, and I'm like,
he
fuck?
lost the rank game, by the way, which really pissed me
Yeah.
off more. That
and
fucker played on my account and lost. So
he played
what a
like
dick.
2 ranked games, and Don and I are like, wow, he could have at least joined Discord or something.
And they texted me and I was up at like 9 a.m. and they're like, hey, like why, like did we make you mad or something? Like why'd you stop playing and go and play ranked without being in Discord? And I was like, what are you talking about? And they're like, you played 2 ranked games last night. I log into my League account and I look and there's 2 ranked games and I was like, I got hacked.
Jeff like texts me, he's like, I feel strangely violated.
Did you make a new account or just change your info?
Just changed my password.
Which is wild because I had the same League password for like 4 years and never got hacked.
I have the same.
That's the only time I've ever been
Here's the
hacked in
thing.
anything, so.
If you can hack,
And wild that you would hack someone who's in like bronze at the time.
It was just
What
so
a wild.
weird.
I like
It
to think
was
that he had a good intention, so he's like, let's get this guy into silver.
It
Like,
was
and then
such
he
a
lost
what-
too, and he was
wasn't
like,
he playing promos too, or was it just
yeah,
like,
yeah, it was my promos to silver, and then he lost 2 of them, and then I had to get back into promos because that guy's a
It was
dick.
such a wild thing to watch at 3 in the morning.
Yeah, it was weird because I like apologized to them. I was like, I'm so sorry, and I was like, why the fuck am I apologizing to you two? Like, it wasn't me. Like, I was asleep. Because they felt so
we
like
felt
offended.
insulted. Like, wow, man, what the fuck? Like,
It's like,
we're
I
here
left because like we just could not win an ARAM. We lost like fucking 10 in a row. I was like, I'm just going to bed. Like, I'm sorry, I can't keep this up. Like, I work.
and then you get on and play again.
Yeah,
and then he plays
then
ranked, and it's like, wait, what?
I was like, no, man, that was not me.
Like Don and I were talking about it that night. I was like, man, like I don't know, like I know he's like his own person, but like I feel oddly hurt by this.
League of Legends, my guys.
Yeah.
Don't play it. Toxic game.
Yeah, we should get back into Siege.
I've been.
We should get back into Civ 6.
I just uninstalled Civ 6.
You looks like you're gonna have to reinstall
Yeah,
it.
you uninstall it every time I'm like, all right, like what you should.
Well, yeah, when I don't play it for 3 months and I play Warhammer daily, I'm like, there's no need for me to be playing Civ. So
We should all play CK3.
I don't know what
No.
that means.
It's Civilization, but like more fine-tuned, like super fine-tuned.
No thanks.
You basically get to like control a dynasty and like you determine like who your kids marry and shit like that.
No
ain't
thanks.
worth it, man.
That's
Ain't
too
worth
much.
It's fun. It's great. I like it. I like it. It's a
Okay.
good time.
Okay, maybe.
It's a good time. There's no like actual like you could pause, but like if you pause, then everyone else is paused. These otherwise it just keeps going.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't played. I've watched it play a couple times, and it makes no sense to me. It looks like a browser, like a game that could just be run in a browser.
It has hefty graphics.
It shouldn't.
All right, well, that was week 3. Thanks for listening.
We'll come up with something stupidly fun for week 4.
We'll talk about it.
I don't know what that could be, but I'm excited to find out.
There's gotta be a TikTok trend or something we can do.
Maybe.
Borgs.
We do a board for the last week, and then we just record July for the fun of it.